So now the mastering is done, and in this last lesson we're going to talk about exporting our song. So the mastering is done, we have our whole mastering chain right here, and we can just click File, Export Audio, and choose where to export it, choose the format of the file that we want, and just export our song. Now the loudness I've gotten for this song, measured in LUFS, which I just mentioned in the lesson before, is somewhat really loud. So what happens when I send that same song to Spotify, or my distributor, digital distributor of music, sends that song to Spotify? Well, on, let's say, some music selling service like Beatport, that MP3, that really loud MP3 or WAV file is going to be just okay, and DJs are going to like that, having a loud song to play, no problem. But let's say on a service like Spotify or iTunes Music on the radio, all those streaming services are going to be leveling out my song. They don't want it that loud. So they have a standard of their own, how loud they want their music, and they want all of the songs that play on their streaming service to have a similar loudness value. Now what you can do is actually send this song the way it is, really compressed. So let me record a portion of that song right here into another audio track using resampling. So anything that plays on the master is actually going to be recorded in this resampling track. This is what the input is. It's called resampling, so it's recording anything that we can hear when we press play. So I'm going to record, let's say, this portion of the song right here. So just a portion of the song so you get an idea what's in there. You can see that the dynamics and all of these small peaks, that's all just gone. Everything is just really limited and made as loud as possible to meet the certain standard that is circulating around today, because there is no actual proprietary standard to actually hold up to. Is just, okay, how loud is the next guy that's actually selling well? So what we have done right here is we've measured up to that. Our song is going to be sounding really nice in a party. It's going to be sounding hopefully really good on any kind of device that we play it at, because we made sure that it's going to happen during mixing, during the mastering phase. Now we send that same song to Spotify. It's just going to pull the volume down just about like this. Let me just check that out. I'm going to turn off all of these mastering processes. I'm going to group them and just turn them off. Now we can check out my loudness meter and pull this song down to actually meet the criteria for Spotify, which is going to be somewhere around -14 LUFS. And that's what I've been told actually by people who try to figure out what is the actual measurement, because they might not be using the same measuring standards. So let's try that out. I'm just going to play this track only. Okay, this is too quiet. So this is approximately the volume that the song would need to have on Spotify. So they would actually pull the volume down of this song just like that. You see what you get? You get this cut off, non-dynamic signal that's just been volumed down, and there was no need for this. So if I wanted to make a proper version that's going to sound better on the streaming services, I would have to master my song specifically for that. So let me create another track just to pull this down. I'm going to use the same track right here for recording the next try that we're going to do. So next thing we will be doing is I will re-enable this mastering chain again. I'm going to pull the limiting down so that we get those -14 LUFS measurement. So an integrated measurement, which is not this short-term or momentary measurement of LUFS, just a longer, longer average value of the signal. This is the loudness that it should have for Spotify. So now if I record that in the same duration right here, let's record what we got. Okay, so this is what we got. Now, let me get this song down to that level. If you remember, let me turn this off first. We don't need the original. We don't need the mastering chain. We do need this metering right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this volume down the way it was, just like that, so that we have the same loudness coming out of this one and out of that one. Let's check that out by actually looping right here. Okay, so the integrated values for this song, let me check that. Is even higher in this meter, so I would have to pull this down as well, do according to this metering. Okay, so this is where I want to be, around -14. That's at least what I've been told that the standard is right now. So I need to check how am I going to get this song. What would happen to my really compressed and mastered song if I sent that to Spotify, if that was sent to them? That's approximately that, and even without nitpicking into going into the exact numbers, you can see the difference between these two. So this is the version if you really took your time, and not even took your time, it doesn't take a lot of time to just pull down on your threshold or the input gain of your limiter and just get another version out there that's going to be more dynamic and not as compressed than this one. So compare those two. This one has dynamics, this one has none. It's actually just limited. See, cut off, sausage-like. So always be aware that there are things happening right now in the music world that you should know about, and this is one of them. So exporting your masters for different services like Spotify, like iTunes, radio, and you should always be aware that they might be doing something to ensure that their listeners always get the same loudness volume of all the songs they listen to. So as I told you, the songs that we did first with a really loud volume, it's okay, and that's something that usually it's going to be sent to all the digital stores through the digital distribution. But be aware that some of the services like streaming services like Spotify, like YouTube, which are going to stay obviously for a long time, and they are most probably going to impose standards that are going to be respected. If you look at that, the music that you could be giving them for everybody else to listen, because this is the same volume at which it's going to end up anyway, would be much more dynamic. So much more pleasing, much less fatigue in the ears, much less limiting, ruining the dynamics of your song. This is what's happening right now, and you can bet that most probably in the future, when this whole loudness war that's happening in mastering, where everybody's just trying to be louder than the next person, is going to stop, because it will have an end where the music really does not sound good anymore, as it's being pushed against the limiter too much. So the best way to find out what you need to do is to listen to somebody else's mastered music, for which has been professionally mastered, sounds really nice. drop it into your digital audio workstation, put some meterings on it, put a metering that's going to show you the LUFS for it, put an analyzer on it like span, where you can actually see the spectrum balance of it with the master setting on it, and just look at that. Just like that. Teach your eyes what your ears are listening to. Okay? That's the best way I can put it. You're going to teach your eyes to also recognize what good sounds look like. I'm certain that it's going to give you value and it's going to help you make better decisions when mastering is in question, when levels are in question, when spectrum balance is in question. So do use meters all the time because they are quite a valuable weapon that we have. Of course, it is most important how the song sounds like, the quality of the production, the quality of the mastering. Of course, it's most important, but meters are something that's going to be showing you the information you cannot discern yourself just by listening. You cannot know what the actual loudness is just by listening. You can't know what the true peak value is just by listening. You can't know what the exact spectrum balance is just by listening. But you can listen and you can see, and using those two in correlation at the same time will help you make better decisions and definitely help you make better results. It certainly did help me.